right, Lake Superior Circle Tour, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to Lake Superior Provincial Park, Neys, ending up at Little Giant Provincial Park in Ontario, outside Thunder Bay. So here we are crossing the St. Mary's River from Michigan into Canada. Start of our trip here. We got the Soo Locks here in Sault Ste. Marie. The Soo Locks, I believe, were first built in 1855. It's like an elevator for ships coming from the Great Lakes, through the Great Lakes. Depending upon which way you're going, the locks will either go up or they'll go down. So here we are, about to cross into Canada. Both sides of this bridge are Sault Ste. Marie. You got Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. There's the locks. They're building a new lock over there. But yeah, you could definitely, if you're doing the tour, stop off in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Be sure to, you can take a boat ride tour of the locks. You can actually go through a lock, or you could, there's a platform over there. So yeah, St. Mary's, there's a lot of fishing over here. But the water levels are different. So if you're heading one way, the ship's got to go into the locks and the water goes up. And if you're going the other way, the water goes down. So yeah, that's what the locks are about. Be sure when you're traveling into the States or Canada, you follow the laws of that country, province, and state. Look them up, know them. If you have pets and you're going into Canada or the States, make sure you have your shot records. Check to see if you need a chip in those animals. Very important. Do not bring a gun into either country without permission of that country. There's ways to do that. I don't know, but you got to look into that, because people go hunting and fishing, you know, in both countries. But there's the locks. I don't know if you get a good picture of my GoPro. There's St. Mary, named after Mary, by the way. Makes sense, right? The French named it. But yeah, we are officially into Canada, so we're going to turn this off because I'm from Michigan. But this part of the circle tour is just going to involve a few provincial parks. When I say provincial, it's similar to a Michigan State Park or Kentucky State Park. It's a province. Canada's made up of provinces. There's federal parks like Banff, and then there's provincial parks. Each province, Ontario, you know, wherever you're going, Edmonton, Saskatchewan. Well, Edmonton's a town, but in any event, Edmonton Oilers. But yeah, we're going into Canada, so I'm going to turn this GoPro off. It's not a good idea. And we'll have more information for you. We're going to hop on the Trans-Coastal Highway, which connects the Atlantic to the Pacific through the great country of Canada. All right, let's hope we make it to the border. I got my passport ready. Take your hat off, glasses, keep your hands on the wheel. Answer the questions going both ways. Do not keep your hat or glasses on. Whatever's in your picture is how you should look. If you wear eyeglasses, you might want to put them on. But be respectful. Have your passport or enhanced license ready. One thing I want to add is, as a true Michigander who has a camp in the Upper Peninsula, if you're going to travel to Michigan's Upper Peninsula or this part of Ontario along Lake Superior, you're definitely going to want to do it. Right now it is May 25th. It's Memorial Day. Much love and respect to all those who have served and sacrificed so much. We love our vets. Because of them, I have this opportunity to speak and have freedom of speech and movement. We love our vets, but right now there's no bugs out. But soon, ooh, it's coming. June, July, the black flies, the horse flies, the mosquitoes are in. I don't even know a number to trillions. There's more than trillions. So caution, if you're going to travel the Lake Superior Circle Tour, highly recommend you do it end of May or end of July into August. Here's a beautiful view. Look at that. Is that gorgeous over here? Yeah, definitely. And by the way, there's 5 Great Lakes. You've got Michigan, Lake Michigan. Then you have Superior, Huron, Erie, Ontario. So you got Michigan, I better count, Superior, Huron, Erie, Ontario. That's right, they all flow into the Atlantic Ocean, believe it or not. Might take a couple hundred years. And something interesting, water has been here for billions and billions of years. Water never disappears. So this water has been here a long time. It just keeps going up and going down. Be sure to hit all these stops along the way. It's just stunning. I'm still east of Lake Superior Provincial Park. Lake Superior Provincial Park. We have made it. And first stop, Sand River. This is great. So we crossed the border at 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2.5 hours later, although I had a couple stops. So I'd say 2 hours from the Sioux, Canada, you could reach Lake Superior Provincial Park. But make sure you stop. There was Chippewa River here in Ontario, just stunning. Man, that was beautiful. I got to stop there sometime. So we're heading to Sand River right now. We're staying tonight at Rabbit Blanket Campground in our 2026 Ram ProMaster Class B Eddie Bauer 23-footer. Added Starlink, gotta have Starlink. Sumo Springs to the shocks, gotta have Sumo Springs. Sway bar came with it, so that's good to have. Look at that view the whole way here, folks, the whole way here. What else did we do? We switched out the inverter from 1,000 watt, which came with the factory stock, to a 4,000 watt inverter, 2 lithium batteries, gives us way more boondocking capabilities. Tonight we're hooking up electrical. So yeah. Right now it's Memorial Day 2026 in Canada. It is not, but we love our vets. Much love and respect to all the families and those who have sacrificed the greatest sacrifice so I could be here today with all the freedoms I have. And that's not political, that's American, folks. I always say I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not an independent, I'm an American. But today we're in the great country of Canada. Ontario is the province, and so we are at a provincial park. There are federal parks, just like if you were in Michigan or any other state, and you have a state park. Well, that's what a provincial park is. Canada has provinces, not states. So it's a provincial park run by the province. So I stopped at the first visitor center in Lake Superior Provincial Park. They actually have a campground here too. This is parking. See where we're at. There's a campground over there. If you need backcountry permits, directions, maps, information, definitely a great place to come visit. So everything in Canada is in French. There are two sets of falls, massive falls on the Sand River. You've seen the first one. Now I'm heading towards the second one. It's about a mile up. I'm only about 0.39 miles from the parking lot here. So you can see the water's calmer. Until you get around the turn up there, it turns to the right. And that's where the other set of falls are. But look at these ancient rock formations here. Ancient. And that's the only way I could put it. Imagine the years they have been here. Millions, billions. Look at that. It almost looks like an eye and a mouth. Looks like a turtle face. But there's the other set of falls over there. That's where we're headed. Yeah, that looks like a face, doesn't it? That's kind of cool. Here's the trail. campground here in Lake Superior Provincial Park. Hope you enjoyed Sand River. It's definitely one of my favorite places to hike up. You can sit right along the edge of the falls, but you got to be careful, be smart, make sure you got proper clothing, shoes. I definitely recommend hiking sticks, but always be smart. You hear about all these people falling off cliffs and just to get a selfie. It's not worth it. Enjoy the nature. Forget about the photo op, okay? I mean, it's easy for me to say because here I am filming with my GoPro and I don't want to be hypocritical, but you know, even as experienced as I am at hiking, paddling, you know, mountain biking in the mountains, I'm still extremely cautious. You don't need to be stupid. Don't try to be a hero and end up a zero. Good morning. Here we are, Rabbit Blanket Campground. Second day, beautiful morning on a Tuesday of May, end of May. Just stunning. Stunning campground. Last night, great. Very spacious spots. Electric, you can have electrical if you make reservations. There are many spots that are just rustic. Morning. Just beautiful back here. Lake Superior Provincial Park. Circle tour Lake Superior, day 2. Gonna hang out here for another day before we head west on 17. The thing about the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and this Lake Superior Basin, June and July, you will get destroyed by gnats, black flies, mosquitoes, and I'm not talking 1 or 2, I'm talking thousands. We've had a camp in Upper Peninsula, Michigan. I'm from Lower Michigan for decades, and those of us who know, we know. So plan accordingly, that's all. All right, day 2, fabulous quarter circle tour Lake Superior. We are only doing Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. We are from Michigan. And Lake Superior Provincial Park, Neys. I think that's how they pronounce it. Not Neys, Neys. Then we're going to end up at Giant over by Thunder Bay. Today, we're here at Rabbit Blanket for another day. We're heading to Wawa. Let's check out Wawa. I've been there before, but it's always nice to come into Wawa, get supplies. And then after that, I think we will hang out on Old Woman Bay. I think that's the plan today. Old Woman Bay is gorgeous. There's hiking trails. Be careful if you're hiking. These are some extreme trails up here. I've hiked them for decades with a group of people. I'm not hiking solo, not happening, not safe. So, yep. We're not too far from Wawa. I don't have a reading yet, but Rabbit Blanket Campground is, I don't know, I'm thinking like 20 minutes away, maybe 20, 30 from Wawa, no further. Not sure, I guess we'll find out, right? Wawa, Ontario, so much to do. It's about, I think it was about a 25-minute ride from Rabbit Blanket Campground inside the provincial park. There's a great list of stuff to do in the area. We're gonna hit, I think we're gonna hit the high falls of Magpie River. There you go, I just wanted to say that. Agua Rock, Pitcher Grass. I mean, there's so many great things to do. Chippewa Falls. Yeah, we passed that on the way in. So here's where we crossed over. Beautiful Michigan, my home, Upper Peninsula. I also live below the Mackinac Bridge, and we have a place along Lake Superior. So, where are we here? Pancake Bay. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Wawa's number 14. Oh, that's cool. It gives you numbers and things to see and do along the way. You can see my hand in my GoPro there. We're heading to, as far as, where are we heading up? Sleeping Giant. That's where we're going to end up here. Tomorrow we're heading to Neys. Neys tomorrow. Then on to Sleeping Giant near Thunder Bay. And then all the way up back home. So, looks like we're going to hit number 15 today. Maybe we'll hit number 16 tomorrow. Actually, we might just check. Actually, 12. What's 12? 12 is Winnie the Pooh Memorial, White River. Yeah, we might have to hit that for sure. No doubt. That's great. All right. So here's the visitor center in Wawa. It's got a great lookout. So many things to do here. Highway 17. Magpie River Valley, that's what that's called. It's a glacial spillway, the sign says. Melted 10,000 years ago. That's great. All right, Old Woman Bay, a must stop and see on your Lake Superior Circle tour. Just west of Rabbit Blanket Campground, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes east of Wawa. Stunning. They say that formation looks like a lady's face right there. I see the nose, I see the cheek. Okay, Lake Superior Circle Tour Day 3. 2 nights at Rabbit Blanket in Lake Superior Provincial Park. Fantastic. Spent about 6 hours hiking and hanging out around Old Woman Bay. Stunning, stunning. One of my favorite parts of the entire park there. Did some hiking. Now we just left Wawa and we're heading to Neys Provincial Park. It's about 2 hours away. We're gonna stop off along the way and see in White River where Winnie the Pooh was founded. Yeah, a gentleman from that area came up with the idea for Winnie the Pooh long time ago that Walt Disney bought the rights to. So there's a fun fact about Lake Superior. This part of the Circle Tour meanders inland, not so much along Lake Superior, although Lake Superior isn't too far off to my south as I'm driving west on Canada's I call it a continental highway here, 17, that connects all the coast. But be sure to stop off in Wawa at the general store. It's historic. Get some gas. They got a Tim Hortons there in Wawa. Tim Hortons, by the way, was a Canadian hockey player, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Canada, for hockey. Everybody's really nice here. You might want to bring with you an extra extension cord if you're going to be camping and you need shore power. At Rabbit Blanket, I had to go to the park office and rent for $5 a day an extension to my 30 amp. In Wawa, I went to the hardware store and picked up a really heavy duty extension and a converter, even though I have about 10 of them at home in Michigan, but I gotta have it. So yeah, definitely whatever you have, bring double. Always be prepared, bring plenty of water, and so on and so forth. Whatever you take into a park, you take out. And don't leave any food out for wild animals. It'll attract black bear. You don't want to do that. I've had run-ins in my lifetime with some rogue black bears 2 times. They didn't hurt us. They just were around our campsite looking for food. And we had to call the park rangers to have them removed. I don't know if they were removed or whatnot, but in any event, all right, we're heading on to Neys Provincial Park today. It's going to be a great stop along the way. All right, White River. All right, population 1,000 here in Ontario, Canada, on the way to Neys Provincial Park. We're going to stop off, get some food, get some gas, tap off, and check out White River. Okay, here we are in White River. A lot of fishing up here, folks. A lot of fishing, hiking, and flippin-tastic. We're gonna check it out. All right, White River along Canada's transcontinental highway. White River, home of Winnie the Pooh. Let's find out about Winnie the Pooh here. We all love and know Winnie the Pooh. Disney, I believe, bought the rights to Winnie the Pooh. Let's check it out. Let's see, what's the story? In 1926, a gentleman named they said it was a guy, so M-I-L-N-E, and illustrator Mr. Shepard gave the fictional character Winnie the Pooh to Christopher and the world. I don't know, I don't know if that makes any sense. All right, let's see what we got over here. Hi, Winnie, how you doing? Nice dog run over here. White River. The Trans-Canada Highway comes through here, we know that. Oh, I see what it was. So there was a gentleman who was in the military. Actually, he was a veterinarian, and he was responsible for the welfare of the Army horses on the steam train that arrived in White River in 1914. And then he saw an orphaned bear cub for sale, And he said, how much? $20. Pulled out his wallet. Yes. And that's the history of Winnie the Pooh right there. I didn't know that. All right, great history. All right, we made it to Neys. I don't know the correct pronunciation. Apologies to my Canadian brothers and sisters. Neys, I believe they spell it. Could be wrong. But not too far past Marathon, maybe 20 minutes. Stunning, spectacular views. But yeah, this park is great. Look at this. We're going deep. Because I believe it's on Lake Superior. So yeah. Oh, here's the correct spelling. Neys, Neys. I say Neys. Unless there's a different pronunciation. All right, let's check it out. Hiking the Point Trail, well marked here at the Neys Provincial Park. I always want to say Neys, but I think it's Neys. It's just a short walk, it's nothing. I'm almost there. Stunning. Just stunning. Look at this. Says log driving days. These old boats belong to the Pigeon River Timber Forest Company fleet. They were used in the 1940s to haul workers and supplies to logging camps. Some of them had large gasoline engines while others were towed. Pretty cool. Relics of the past. It's amazing. You can't touch them. Don't touch them, just leave them. We'll walk around them so you get a good view. crazy. Neys Provincial Park. We're camping way over there. Nice walk, a little over a mile or a little over a kilometer. Okay, let's continue the Great Lakes Circle tour. We left home destination, Michigan, below the bridge. And we also have a place on Lake Superior in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Okay, Neys, hope I'm saying that properly, N-E-Y. What a beautiful place. 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. Definitely a hidden gem. My recommendation is, if you're gonna travel, stay a minimum 2 days. That gives you an opportunity to rest and do all the hiking and see all the benefits, you know, this beautiful country and land has to offer. So we're on our way today to Sleeping Giant. I've never been west of Wawa, you know, haven't spent my entire life in Michigan, so I'm pretty excited to head west today. Here's the travel van, looking good with the salsa spearfish on the back. We've got Starlink up there, Sumo Springs. I've said it before. We upgraded to a 4,000 watt inverter, 2 lithium batteries. At these parks here in the Ontario provincial system, it's all electrical or, you know, rustic. There's no sewage or water hookups, although they do have stations everywhere. Facilities, toilets, just so clean. Staff fantastic, warden, young men and women working here, just amazing. Definitely coming back here real soon. Check it out, Neys. All right, let's get out of here. Let's hit the road. All right, pulling into Terrace Bay. We're gonna go see the falls in Terrace Bay. We're gonna get something to eat. It's only 9:20 a.m. Friday, the 29th of May. 2026. Circle tour continues. They got a nice lighthouse here I heard about. I've seen a lot of lighthouses in my day, but yeah. All right, let's check it out. Between St. Ignace and here, there's not much, which is great. You don't want much. You want to be out in the middle of nowhere. Looks like a nice community here in Terrace Bay. Passing a neighborhood on the right. Oh, I should get some gas, eh? Yeah, we'll definitely get some gas somewhere. Man, there's apartments here. Yeah, all the towns I've passed have been a one-light town. This looks like a pretty big community here. I mean, big compared to what, but for the trip I've been on. Drifters restaurant, got a recommendation to eat at Drifters. We're gonna check that out. There's Drifters Motel. So let's see if there's a restaurant here. Get something to eat. And we'll find the falls and get some gas. All right. Sleeping Giant Provincial Park, Ontario, Canada. Outside Thunder Bay, about less than an hour. I don't know if you caught that loon. Heard a loon. There he is, Sleeping Giant. He is one handsome sleeping giant. On our way to hike Sleeping Giant, I'm on a bike, so you could bike and save yourself hours and hours of hiking time. Came from this way, where the parking lot is. We stayed at Sleeping Giant last night. Great place. So yeah, we're gonna head on to the end where there's a bike rack, and we're gonna hike to the top. And I spoke to two gentlemen yesterday. It took them 5 to 6 hours. I think they said even 7 hours there and back. So that's why we're on our mountain bike today. So we'll head up to the parking bike spot and let you know how that goes. All right, that was it. It is Saturday, May 30th, 2026. We just biked to the top of Sleeping Giant.